When Dr. Čapek conducted the first flower communion in Prague, he used these words to bless the flowers. Translated, of course, from the Czech. All human beings are created in the name of joy and happiness, but thousands of troubles surround us, tormenting us with sadness. If a person cannot see beauty in the world around them, then troubles and sadness tie them down. The beauty of the clouds floating in the sky, the beauty of the spring rain, the beauty of flowers, the beauty of friendship and love. May people see that beauty. May true humanity spread out in human hearts. May we all get our daily bread. May people forgive each other their trespasses and not bring each other into temptation through hatred. May peace spread out all across the earth. Amen. And it seemed appropriate for a time for all ages. The story we're about to hear is based on an African legend that Reverend Christopher Buys says that he heard third hand, and so for all that is wrong or twisted with it, he claims all the credit. It begins like this. Once upon a time, there was a village with a road that went straight through the center of town. One day, something strange happened. God walked down the road, and she was beautiful. She wore a long, flowing robe, and on the top of her head, there was a wonderful hat. All the people stopped to stare at God as she walked by, and they kept staring until she disappeared into the distance. Boy, God was beautiful, said one man. And what a beautiful hat she had on. Yes, God was beautiful, said a woman from the other side of the street. But it wasn't a beautiful blue hat. It was a red hat. Oh, you're wrong, said the man. It was definitely a blue hat. No, you're so wrong, said the woman. It was a red hat. And as the two argued, others joined in the dispute. Soon the whole village was arguing. All the people on one side were certain that God was wearing a blue hat. And all the people on the other side of the road were just as certain that God was wearing a red hat. And people got mad. And people started to scream at each other. And finally, the people got so angry that they decided to build a wall that went straight down the middle of the road. And they never spoke to each other again. On one side of the wall, people built a church where they worshiped a God who wore a blue hat. And on the other side of the wall, the people built a church where they worshiped a God who wore a red hat. And many years passed, and the people were still enemies. And then one day, God came walking back through the village. She was smiling and balancing as she walked down the wall that the people had built so many years ago. And this time, she was wearing no hat at all. And the people ran to the wall and cried, "You must settle our disagreement, our argument." "Yes," said one man. The people on that side say that when you walked through the village many years ago, that you were wearing a blue hat. But we know better. We know that you were wearing a red hat. So tell us, God, what color was your hat?
I'm trying to remember. Yes. I do believe I did come through this village. Oh, you're talking about the hat that I wore that day, where on one side was blue and the other side was red.
And saying nothing more, God balanced down the wall, walking until she disappeared into the distance. It was very, very quiet. Soon there was the sound of one child laughing. Then another child laughed, and then another. And soon the whole village was roaring with laughter. Everyone was laughing because they realized how foolish they had been. And as the sound of laughter grew louder and louder, the wall, not so strong as it had appeared, began to shake and crumble until finally it came tumbling to the ground. And for many years after that, the people told the story of God's hat and how laughter had torn down the wall between a divided and foolish people.